Hey guys, welcome to the guide. So I guess in this video I'm defending my J-31 video, because I got some flack for it, but I guess I should have expected it. It's like an inevitable problem. Whenever you're talking about airplanes, sooner or later you're going to step on somebody's foot and say something that they don't want to hear about their favorite airplane. So I guess I should have expected it. And like, the Chinese are very patriotic at this point in time, so I guess I should have expected it. But in this video, I'm going to do what I did with my F-35 video when I defended it, and I'm going to defend my J-31 video. That's the point of this video. Alright, so the Chinese, they pumped out 2 stealth fighters pretty quickly. Like, it was between 5 and 10 years, and they just pumped these 2 things out like it's not a big deal. And like us in the US, it took us like, what, 20 or 30 years to get the F-22 up and ready to go, because like the F-22 project was started in the mid to late 80s, and it didn't reach frontline units until what, I think the mid 2000s. So it took like 20 or 30 years to get the F-22 program, you know, up and going. And China pumps out 2 stealth fighters in like 5 or 10 years. Like, it's just like bam, and they were out. So yeah, something's up. That you just don't pump out 2 stealth fighters like that. It just doesn't happen. Okay? And I would understand if the J-31 was a smaller version of the J-20 with the canard and the Delta configuration. Yeah, then I could understand that. But it's not. It looks a lot like the F-35 and the F-22. It looks a lot like it. And I know people out there be like, well, that's just what a stealth plane looks like. And I'm just like, well, the Su-57, formerly known as the T-50 Packfoot, doesn't look like that. It has a little bit of similarities, but it definitely has its own distinct look. And if you look at the Russian MiG Project 1.44, which is a horrible name for an airplane, it was the Soviet Union's, you know, 5th generation stealth fighter before the Soviet Union went down. It doesn't look like the F-22 or the F-35 at all. So you can make stealth planes that don't look like the F-22 and the F-35. But the J-31 just looks too close for comfort. That's my point. And if you go back to 2011, a company called RSA Securities was hacked in March 2011, and it was a security company that like kept all of the, you know, stuff involved, and it was described as a very sophisticated hack. But anyways, the information that the hackers learned from that hack, they used to go in and hack Lockheed Martin's system in May of 2011. So it was kind of like a boom boom, and then Martin Lockheed just got hacked. And according to Lockheed Martin, nothing of value got stolen, but of course they're going to say that because they don't want people to know that, you know, their prized F-35 project just got hacked. Of course they're going to say that. But then, not too long after that, here comes the J-31. You know, it's just too close for comfort. Like, question marks get raised. It's just too close for comfort. And yes, the J-31 has 2 engines while the F-35 has 1 engine. And that's because Chinese engines are pretty weak. China hasn't quite figured out how to make good jet engines yet. But they just bought 24 Su-35s just for the sole purpose of reverse engineering the Su-35's engine. And the Su-35 has an awesome engine. It has thrust vectoring, it has amazing thrust, it's a good engine. And that's the whole reason they bought the Su-35, is because they wanted the engines out of them. Initially they went to Russia, they went to Putin, and they were like, hey, can we just buy some of those engines? And Putin was like, no, you have to buy the entire airplane or you're not getting anything at all. So the China was like, okay, we'll buy the airplane. And they got 24 of them just for the engines, and they figured out how to reverse engineer those engines, and now they're sticking those engines in the J-20. Like, they have a prototype of the J-20 that they're sticking those engines into now. So once the J-20 gets those engines, then it'll be a really good aircraft. And they're probably going to stick those engines in the J-31 too. And whenever that happens, then the J-31 is probably going to be better than the F-35 because it's going to be way more maneuverable than the F-35 because those engines have thrust vectoring and everything. So, yeah, we got that going for us. And if you go through our history with China, like the West's history with China, they have no reason to like us. I mean, Britain fought 2 wars with China called the Opium Wars just for rights, just so they could sell opium, the drug, in China. They fought 2 wars with China over this, alright? Does that make somebody, you know, is that going to make a country like another country? Probably not. And then, after World War II, China was expecting us, the U.S., to become their allies, and they wanted to go capitalist, and they were completely and totally expecting to go capitalist and become our allies, but then we snubbed them and supported Japan instead of them, the guys that have just been killing them for the last 10 years. So yeah, we did that after World War II. So, and then China was forced to go communist, even though they would have preferred to go capitalist. Because of that move, they were forced to go communist. So yeah, China really doesn't like the West. We haven't given them any reason to like the West. And as far as their history with, like, jacking airplanes, I mean, do I need to go into their history of, like, stealing copyright iPhones and, like, just technology in general from us? Because they don't care about copyright laws. They don't care. But they have their own version of the Russian Su-27, which originally it was a licensed copy of the Su-27, where Russia would send them part kits and then China would put them together in China. But once China figured out that they could make the part kits on their own, they cut Russia out of the deal, and now they just make an indigenous Su-27 that they call the J-11. So yeah, they have a history of just jacking airplanes anyways. Like, they don't care. Copyright laws mean nothing to China. They don't care. And they don't like us, so like, we haven't given them any reason to like us. We haven't. So they just don't care in general. So I guess that's my defense for my J-11 video. Alright, thanks for watching.